This story begins in 1945, at the precise moment the Second World War had just ended. While the world celebrated peace, India was in the middle of its own struggle, pushing for its own freedom from colonial rule. A young boy named A.P.J. Abdul Kalam watched this transition with a deep desire to serve his country. But he was hemmed in by his family's reality. They were struggling just to survive. His parents lacked formal schooling, but they recognized their son's drive. They pooled their meager savings, money they couldn't afford to lose, to pay for his admission to the prestigious Short School in Ramanathapuram. This wasn't just a bill paid, it was a gamble. That financial burden created a constant pressure on Kalam, where any failure at school would be a direct betrayal of his family's survival. The transition from a quiet rural village to the rigid, high-pressure environment of the Short School was disorienting. One day, feeling lost in the unfamiliar building, Kalam accidentally walked into the wrong classroom. The math teacher inside reacted with immediate hostility. In front of the entire class, he struck Kalam with a stick for the simple mistake of being in the wrong place. As the other students laughed, the teacher mocked him, telling him to go back to the village where he belonged. When you are publicly shamed by someone with authority, you face a choice. You can let the humiliation define your limits, or you can find a way to make yourself undeniable. Kalam's first instinct was to give up. He felt the weight of homesickness and a powerful urge to return to the safety of his village. But he remembered the promise he had made to his parents. He decided that one teacher's opinion would not be the final word on his future. He leveraged his performance as a defense. He realized that if he could master the curriculum perfectly, he could build a wall of results that no amount of bias or mockery could penetrate. He didn't complain or try to win an argument. Instead, he studied day and night, often working outside under the trees to drill his coursework until it was second nature. When an institution is biased against you, mastery of that institution's own rules is the only way to neutralize a critic who holds power over your grade. A few weeks later, the confrontation came to a head. The math teacher began announcing the results of the latest exam. The teacher read out the scores of the other students first. A 61 for Rajesh and a 70 for Yash, solid average marks that set a baseline for the class. Then he turned to Kalam and sarcastically asked the boy how he thought he had performed. Kalam told him he believed he had answered everything correctly. This drew another round of laughter from the students behind him, but the teacher stopped them. He revealed that Kalam hadn't just passed, he had scored a 100 out of 100. A flawless score removes a critic's ability to minimize you. In a world of subjective judgments, a perfect metric is the only evidence that isn't up for debate. The teacher's attitude shifted instantly. He pointed at Kalam and told the class to remember him, predicting the boy would bring glory to the school. The same man who had used a stick to shame him was now using his voice to praise him. Kalam's performance had forced the teacher to publicly reverse the narrative he had started weeks earlier. When he returned home for the holidays, the hugs from his parents and the encouragement from his brother served as proof. The family's gamble was paying off. This was the beginning of the trajectory that led to Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam becoming a world-renowned scientist and the President of India. You cannot control where you start or how you are treated. But when you respond to shame with results that cannot be questioned, you force the world to see you for who you really are.